Mr. Speaker, the decision maker for an army is the leader. We understand. It is the superior. But the one who executes every single decision, the one who fires every single bullet, the one who put chemical bombs in every villages is not the general. It is the pilot in the warplanes that dropped that bomb. It is the rifleman that kills those innocent people, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, their arguments about these people not having any agency is completely false. Because if you want to say that these people do not have any agency, then you need to prove that every single bullet that is fired and every single bomb that is dropped is pressed by the general, not the people that they commanded, ladies and gentlemen. If there is still a balance, if there's still a person that puts that execution, that means there is an agency in that person to reject. No matter what social social construct forces you to do something, if you, at the end of the day, wants to, for example, put that bullet down so you don't need to be shamed by the public, so you don't need to be fired by the army, that means you're putting self-interest in front of human rights, ladies and gentlemen. And we think that in itself, it's the nature of every crime. But let's start the speech by evaluating the true problems in the case of opposition, right? Firstly, they say, in a war condition, commanders of war do not think of just war. If this is truly the premise of opposition team, then they wouldn't punish commanders that do war crimes in the first place. We say at the end of the day, their side of the house will be a war with many and many atrocities, ladies and gentlemen. But secondly, if they want to say that they want to also create further reformation in the army, the question is how, ladies and gentlemen, because this is the single thing that can reform the army, we say. But thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, they say the whole premise of opposition team is talking about how they can only criticize people when they are immune. My extension will directly tackle this argument. But lastly, they say that this will expose the strategy of each individual government in war. Ladies and gentlemen, the interest and the nature of war in our current day and age is no longer for survivability. Notice that every strategy that you use, it is not important for you to win. It is important for you to do that war justly. Because at the moment that you're not just, ladies and gentlemen, you're just putting self-interest in the you're just putting self-interest under the notion of power, ladies and gentlemen. We don't think that war in our current state should be played on the eyes of power. Because if you want to say that every single country like the United States wages war in order for the greater good, then you must ensure that the way you win is also good, ladies and gentlemen. You can't say that you want to justify atrocities for that. How will I extend my case? We will say that this increases the standing of a soldier. This will break down entirely why people can actually criticize when they're not immune, not when they're immune. A soldier currently are seen as basically robots. They are viewed by their superiors as only servants of their cause that do not have a standing in what they say, right? This is what in nature allows significant war or military crimes to happen in the first place. It comes from the concentration of power just on a central few whose interest is to win, often to just win wars rather than doing it justly. Why is this so? As a national leader, my interest, you are looking from an eagle's eyes perspective, in which you do not see the grounded impact as personal to you. At the end of the day, even if you know as a leader that you can just even if you know as a leader that these people will still be decimated, that these innocent people will still die, you can just say, I can close it up through classified information. But what is the difference as a soldier? As a soldier, every bullet you shoot is personal. Every cannon you shoot is personal. Every villager bomb is your mistake, ladies and gentlemen. The problem is with the vicarious liability, you disallow these people to have a say. It's always just follow your superiors. They will take the blame, ladies and gentlemen. The generals will say, if you do not follow, there's no risk for you. The generals say, just do it. I will take the blame. There's more pressure for you to not have accountability at all, ladies and gentlemen, as a soldier. But what changes if vicarious liability is applied? What changes, ladies and gentlemen? When vicarious liability is applied, you can finally provide a rationality behind the word no. You finally have a legal rationality behind the word no, that you can prove to your generals that this is not what I actually want, ladies and gentlemen, that this is something that I can reject, because if not, I will be guilty, not you, ladies, no you, general. I will always be the one that is liable. At the end of the day, what is the result of this motion? The result of this motion is the fact that there will be constant check and balances that would create just war, that would create operations that are humane, ladies and gentlemen. What is the problem with our current system? Our current system, we do not, punishing leaders is definitely not enough. Why? First, the impact is already there. If we just want to punish people after we put chemical bombs, people in Syria are already suffocating. Children are already dying. Old people cannot survive, ladies and gentlemen. But if we put this vicarious liability down and say that the soldiers can constantly question the generals, ladies and gentlemen, that means that there will be always check and balances. There will always be a check and balance on the order that is actually given, ladies and gentlemen. This means that at the end of the day, you can't just be complicit. You must think critically on whether this order is actually something that adheres to you. And this is not only one individual, as Egan said. This will always be put in countless of individuals' minds, ladies and gentlemen. That means that the generals must always create a just war. The interest of war in our current day and age is already different. We're not talking about countries fighting for their survivability. We're not talking about countries creating their own state. We're talking about whether we want to protect something or not. The parameter of this protection being just or not is really impactful towards the actual action or the actual result that you expect. If you want the United States of America to finally be able to protect human rights without criticism, you need to ensure that the United States of America conducts just war in order for people to actually believe in the help that the United States of America wants to give. At the end of the day, this will create just war, and this is the ideal society that we want in the 21st century, where we already accepted the Declaration of Human Rights. We beg to propose.